Did you know that ostriches have the largest eyes of any land animal? Amazing, isn't it? I am very happy to see you again. The whinchat, Saxicola rubetra, is a small migratory passerine bird breeding in Europe and Western Asia and wintering in Central Africa. Both sexes have a strong supercilium, brownish upperparts mottled darker, a pale throat and breast, a pale buff to whitish belly, and a blackish tail with white bases to the outer tail feathers, but in the breeding season, the male has an orange buff throat and breast. The whinchat is a solitary species, favouring open grassy country with rough vegetation and scattered small shrubs. It perches in elevated locations ready to pounce on the insects and other small invertebrates that form its diet. The nest is built by the female on the ground in coarse vegetation, with a clutch of 4 to 7 eggs being laid. The hen incubates the eggs for about 13 days and then both parents feed the nestlings. Fledging takes place about 18 days after hatching and the parents continue to feed the young for another fortnight. Moulting takes place in late summer before the migration southwards, and again on the wintering grounds in Africa before the migration northwards in spring. The whinchat is a common species with a wide range, and the International Union for Conservation of Nature has classified it as being of least concern. The whinchat is a short-tailed bird, moving on the ground with small, rapid hops and frequently bobbing and flicking its wings and tail. It is similar in size to its relative the European robin. Both sexes have brownish upperparts mottled darker, a buff throat and breast, a pale buff to whitish belly, and a blackish tail with white bases to the outer tail feathers. The male in breeding plumage has a blackish face mask almost encircled by a strong white supercilium and malar stripe, a bright orange buff throat and breast, and small white wing patches on the greater coverts and inner median coverts. The female is duller overall, in particular having browner face mask, pale buffy brown breast, and a buff supercilium and malar stripe, and smaller or no white wing patches. Males in immature and winter plumage are similar to females, except that adult males retain the white wing patches all year round. The whinchat is a largely solitary bird, though it may form small family groups in autumn. It favors rough low vegetation habitats such as open rough pasture or similar minimally cultivated grassland with scattered small shrubs such as hawthorn, and bracken or heather stands on rock-strewn ground. It also commonly inhabits new and clear-felled conifer plantations until the new tree crop is about 5 to 6 years old and a meter or two tall. It always needs at least a few perching points to scan from for food and for use as song posts. Breeding takes place in late April and May. The nest is built solely by the female, and is made of dried grasses and moss, and lined with hairs and fine bents. It is built on the ground, hidden in dense low vegetation, often at the foot of a bush. The female lays and incubates a clutch of 4 to 7 eggs which hatch after 11 to 14 days. Both parents bring food to the young which leave the nest 10 to 14 days later, while still too young to fly. The chicks fledge at 17 to 19 days after hatching and remain largely dependent on the parents for a further 2 weeks. Whinchats are short-lived, typically only surviving 2 years, to a maximum recorded of just over 5 years in the wild. Breeding starts when birds are a year old. Predators include weasels, stoats, and small raptors such as the merlin and nest predators such as crows and magpies. Nests are also lost due to agricultural operations such as silage cutting or trampling by livestock, and are sometimes parasitized by the common cuckoo. Whinchats are insectivorous, feeding largely on insects, but also consume a wide range of other invertebrates including spiders, small snails and worms. They also eat small amounts of fruit such as blackberries, primarily in autumn. The birds like to perch on elevated spots such as shrubs, from where they make sallies to catch insects, mostly taken off the ground, but also flying insects. While so perched, males in particular frequently flick their tail and sometimes their wings to show the white tail and wing flashes, for display or territorial communication signals to other whinchats. Thank you very much for your patience. Hope you enjoyed it. Will you be back soon? Bye for now.